Hello everyone. Let's talk about on the July 4th, Miles Guo and Stephen Bannon have a live stream. CCP gave a U.S. Presents for the U.S. Independence Day. So they gave evidence to the states by themselves. And Chairman Xi pushed speedy up for the process and taking down the CCP. July 1st, Mr. Bannon and Miles Guo had a live stream and the middle of it and be hacked by CCP military. So first of all, we talk about Miles Guo's friend and give him warning about the CCP military will attack the Gettr. Gettr is online on July 4th. And so they did hack to change all the big people's name like Mike Pompeo, even Miles Guo and Stephen Bannon. And Mr. Bannon said that because we're looking, use Gettr to have a more freedom speech and the Democrats, that's why CCP scared. So we would see many new and young people on Gettr and helping take down the CCP. So we will use the culture and the music to take down the CCP. And they cannot stop us. As a platform and social media, Gettr will be really important and start use culture to take down the CCP. And after that, what Mr. Bannon and Miles Guo said, and Lily put some more information. So, and the CCP hacked the Gettr, they changed all the big people's name to Jubelbeka. And CCP is so scared because the Gettr will give the truth to the world. Why the CCP not hack CCP and Instagram and Twitter? Because they belong to CCP. Next on the July 1st, and one of the software managed company and got hacked by the CCP and caused over 1,000 companies has a hard time to running. So and President Biden said we have to check into that. So then there will be evidence and given to the U.S. the CCP hacking. So that's like CCP gives the present to U.S. Government. If they check what's happening with that hack, and they would have evidence. So they are giving the evidence to Americans' hand. So it doesn't really matter, and they just accidentally and got in July 4th, and that's the U.S. Independence Day. So CCP has really low way to hack us. Even in Lily, Lily said I have that small channel, and I had Miles Guo, since Miles Guo mentioned her, and then she got different people on the YouTube and to use her picture and to do the channel which has a different contents on the channel. So please everybody be careful when you watch me. Has over 40,000 subscribed, has over 40,000 people viewed, then that's my real channel. All the other people's is all fake. And there's one on July 5th and July 4th, that's all fake with my picture on it. And that's all CCP's Wu or CCP's poor Democrats. And fake Democrats, Chinese who in the overseas doing the propaganda. So there's another one called 闲聊澳洲 on July 4th and July 5th. That was my, crazy and refreshing the screen and. So next, Mr. Bannon said on July 1st, say the day before, and President Trump had a speech in Florida, and all of a sudden there's a storm, there's raining, but everybody stayed there, nobody moved, they have no cover, but they still stay there, wait for President Trump. And they already have a lot of figures for the election, and there's audits in the different states. So for sure, in a couple of months, the figure will coming out. They also mentioned and Mr. Trump would election again on the 2024, and but maybe even before that, he. So we are the ones thinking for the Democrats, so we can save through the U.S. and whatever maintain the Democrats or get to democracy, and it's not easy. It's not easy road. And so whatever the truth of the election was coming out, the investigation and audit is still going on. And so it was shown the CCP manipulate the election and they let Biden win. And in 1989, U.S. think China will be economic trader, trading cooperation together, but and Deng Xiaoping promised will reform, but didn't happen. Deng Xiaoping lied. So in the American, some Western wealthy people, they only want the money and they only want to do the business with the CCP. They don't care how many people, all the law-abiding being a slave. Whoever working with CCP, co-op with the CCP, they will eventually will have the same result like Hitler. CCP will be eliminated in the world for sure. So about the hack for the Gettr, and Mr. Bannon said that today is really important, and we are independent from mainstream media and big tech of social media. And the big tech and working with CCP, managing and control our free speech and censor us and seize our free speech. Then the regular law-abiding can have a free speech and can give their opinion. Miles Guo said, for sure, this hack is a national standard and is from CCP, and it's not they prepared, and a small hacker cannot regular small hacker cannot affect the Gettr. So this is a challenge American freedom and independent on the internet. Attack on the internet is the same like the war. It's just like a hot war without a gun, but it's still attacking to the U.S. Mr. Bannon said, and today hacker is evident. For CCP doesn't want people have a freedom. American people doesn't want those politicians keep cooperate with CCP. Also on July 1st, Xi's speech mentioned and they warning the world whoever against him, and he want to crush every one of them. Miles Guo said so many people messaging him why CCP scares the Gettr. We have FBI, Homeland Security, and all here. We are safe here. How come they still hacking us? Gettr is American company protected by American law. CCP still hacking us? Whatever they want. Talking about Wang Enge, a couple of Wang Enge, and they graduated from Stanford University. And they have the Beijing University and the Fangzhen Group, and it's bankruptcy. So Fangzhen Group is create original and Chinese Internet code. Yesterday, there's so many engineering for the Gettr. They didn't go to sleep. They are preparing for July 1st online, July 4th online. So they are working really hard, nonstop. American and Democrats, the Democrats in American is exchanged by sweat and blood and justice. But the Chinese people too realistic, and they don't have a backbone. They don't care justice, and they only want to be alive. So waiting for Democrats in China, that's impossible. So it means we have to fight for it. So impossible for us to wait, so we have to fight. CCP brainwash all the Chinese. CCP don't have a belief system and don't have a God, as Mr. Bannon said. In American Civil War, if only 1/3 of us support us, and most time in the war they were losing, and the Civil War, and they went through 8 years. But in the new federal state of China, Mr. Bannon said, I see all the young people, I see the spirit, I see the courage from you guys. So American Civil War went through 8 years. After they have independent declaration, and they almost lose every war, but they got what they believe, they persevere, and so eventually they win. So they eventually they take down the British colony, they become independent. So so he believed for sure new federal state of China will successfully take down the CCP. 2024 for sure Trump will be on, or maybe even early. And Miles Guo also said that most people on the Tiananmen Square on July 4th mostly average less than 30 years old. So they use those young people's young energy to push down Mao, who lay in there dead for many years, and the yin energy. They got that from fortune teller. So actually, CCP is really superstitious. Next is Fangzhen Group bankruptcy. Wang Enge, the couple is arrested. It is a really huge deal. As Miles Guo mentioned, now Lily gave some information about the Beijing University of Fangzhen Group. They are the one have a 360 billion yuan worth in a university company. They have about 6 different companies, like stock company and medical company, and they all on the stock market. So they have Beijing University resorts. So in the end, they have a debt 302 billion yuan. Beijing University Fangzhen Group start with Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan is the sole person in that company. Kind of they call the Chinese characters computer code. It's the sole person. He create a Chinese character and laser layout for the computer. And on 20 November 21st, and Ludo kind of explained that what's happening with Langjuan. Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan is start with so there's a start with Zhou Enlai. Zhou Enlai is the second person and in the CCP. So at beginning time, he died in 1976, and so but actually this technique all stealed from Japan, the computer code. That project called 748. At time 748 and responsible for Miles Guo's friend He Lingle, and He Lingle's brother represent the military of CCP. Whatever in the background of that project is Jiang Group and Zheng Group and Wang. So they are all behind with that project. And so that's also including Wang Daoguo as well. So in November 21st, 2020, Miles Guo's live stream mentioned Fangzhen Group to get the Chinese characters code. They use the whole country's power, and they went to Japan, and BJY the Japanese government and Japanese family, and Wang Xuan went to Japan for sure to bribe the Sony, Rili, those families, and to give them whatever they want. Then Wang Xuan steal the Japanese characters, the computer original code, and typesetting, and laser layout. So this is the secret skill from Japan. So that's Wang Xuan use all this character code, use laser layout on the computer. So all this those secret codes for the character, and Japanese character and Chinese secret sometimes can intertransmit. They are similar. So Japanese, they want some families, they want real antique from summer pilots, and whatever they want, and the CCP just give. So the ones that they want really high end and copper set, but they are on the list, but it's not there, and then the CCP order to duplicate it, to copy it, to make a high-end copy. And in the end, they give another piece as well, just in case this one being recovered is copied. So they were scared if being shown is copied. And so Lily says, say a little bit more about this. When Miles Guo in jail, and in 1989, after Tiananmen Square, and when he got out, some friends in jail gave him that phone number of for He Lingle. After that, Miles Guo was together, always follow He Lingle all over the world. Mr. He Lingle, He Lingle is underneath the Jiang family. The whole family is kind of in the spy work with in Japan for China. So Beijing University and Fangzhen Group, the sole person is Wang Xuan. So he is the foundation to develop Fangzhen Group. So the Chinese really proud of they created the character code in the computer, the layout, laser layout and typesetting, and actually the skill is from Japan, was stealed from Japan. Wang Xuan used antique and summer palettes and to brag with all those Japanese family. So some top university research as well, and Wang Xuan bribed them. So Miles Guo was second biggest stock holder in Fangzhen Group. But the Fangzhen Group already empty, all been stealed out from a CCP high-rank official, and then left 3.2 billion debts, thousands billion debts to 302 billion debts for the Chinese people. And next, we're talking about other news. One is Didi is sort of like Chinese Uber, and then they got shut down, and Chinese government gave the order, said all the internet security, said you have to take down all the app for the Didi because they are selling the private information package to U.S. and said Didi will be on the U.S. stock market, and that's what the U.S. require. But how can Didi go on the U.S. stock market without the CCP family agree? So it looks like only partially family agree. The other partially is not. That's again, go back to the CCP internal struggling again. So Didi is one of the victims. So if the money didn't divide equally, then some of them not happy, then they put you down. CCP's website, Baidu, WeChat, or Alibaba, which one not steal the private information? Next, talking about New York, and some Democrats and they want election audits because there's a Democrats between Democrats, one of the cheating. So here is a backfire of them, and when you cheat on the election. So who knows who lies here? So they want audits anyway. Next, we want on the UNFAO, and they mentioned about food price, and the highest in 10 years, they still going up. And the price of a grain compared with last year, same times, is 40% higher. 12 months calculation, and corn and soybean went up 88%, and the other soybean 73%. The grain went up 38.3%. Sugar went on the 34%. The meat went up 10%. So this is now the oil price went up higher. So for sure, those is not going down. So they mentioned this year food price will stay high, and the gasoline went up. So this is everything for today, and thank you everyone, and see you tomorrow. I will put on the YouTube too if anybody can subscribe my YouTube. I don't know which channel now. Got too many channels. Because YouTube it took me down. Let's see, one is that. I'm done with one. Cool. Come I can say not that one. That one send out. See, no, I don't have time to show you. Anyway, thanks everyone.